Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Christian. Chris is from Bath in England, in the UK. So let's see what Christian has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello, Chris.
Hi, William. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Yourself?
Very good, thank you. It's been a good day. I just went for a run this morning. It was quite sunny-ish, but now it's I just got back and I was getting ready for my day. And actually, just seeing now your background, I feel very relaxed. Just look at your background.
That's good. That's the aim.
Amazing. Should I call you Christian or Chris?
Christian's great. I don't mind though. But you can call me either. Christian. People know me as Christian now.
Christian. They call Christian. Okay, Christian, just before we start the game, just tell me, where are you from?
I'm currently living in a place called Corsham, so just outside Bath in sort of the south of England.
Okay, and tell me a little bit about yourself. What do you do for a living?
I'm lucky enough to run my own little business. I'm a yoga teacher, sports massage therapist and personal trainer. I primarily teach yoga though, because of lockdown now we're all online, which is what my real passion is anyway. So I do variants of sort of restorative yoga, hatha flows, and HIIT yoga and a few other things.
That's cool. That's amazing. And in your opinion, what's the best part of living in your city, the place where you live right now?
I think Bath, I'll focus on Bath primarily because it's probably the easiest landmark that people will know. It's beautiful. It has a very small city feel to it. So I think it's fair to say there's a bit of competition between Bristol and Bath because they're in striking distance of each other, whereas people would probably in Bristol describe Bath as being quite one-dimensional, quite twee perhaps, but if you like that, it's beautiful and it's very, it has a lovely vibe to it. I'd recommend it.
I've been here. I've been living in London, UK for the last 15 years, and for twice I planned to go to Bath, and I remember for some reason, I think it was bad weather, the other reason, I don't remember what, but I will do sometime soon.
You won't be sorry.
Right, and just tell me a little bit, so, and what do you like the most about being a yoga teacher?
I think without sounding too trite, I really enjoy helping other people. My own yoga practice is quite new in relative terms. I probably took up yoga about 4 years ago and qualified off the back of being made redundant. I used to work, I'm ex-army, then went into the commercial world working in a number of defence sector sort of businesses, and then took that opportunity to go back sort of full circle in a way because I did sports science for my degree. So I've always enjoyed being able to help people move better, and yoga obviously adds the additional benefit of the more holistic side of it as well, so helping people to cope with day-to-day stresses of life through sort of stress management and helping them on their own personal journey, as I'm very much on at the moment of just trying to find the best version of themselves, really. Great,
very good. Okay, Christian, so welcome to William and the Magic Box. Friends, full of random fun questions, okay? So, I'm just gonna play some music now, just for us to get a bit in the mood before the first question. Ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Yes, feel free to join me in the moves. Feel free.
See, I'm a natural dancer, or maybe not.
Right, let's go for the first question. The first question is, very good one. If you're not yourself, would you like to be yourself, and why?
I would probably say yes. Not because I've got it all sorted and squared away, but I'm lucky enough to have made the leap to follow a dream. And I readily, peers of that I have, I know would probably love to do something similar, not necessarily in yoga, but in their own sort of passion. But to take the step back in a way in life to then progress forward again is quite a big leap, especially when you've got a family and financial commitments and things like that. So circumstances allowed for me to do it, or I took the decision. So maybe I think I probably would actually. Yes.
Very good.
Get it back to myself.
For For sure. That it means that you're happy with yourself, with your journey so far, you know, and your expectation in the future. So I think, yes, I think I would say the same as well.
Yeah.
You know, I think life's an adventure, and it's good taking, isn't it? It's good.
Yeah, you only get one shot at it, don't you?
Absolutely. Another question. Let's do it. Right. Just before the next question, Christian, as you mentioned before, that you're serving in the British Army, yeah. So tell me a little bit about your journey through that when you were there.
It was something. It was a childhood dream, really. My grandfather were in the military, and I was lucky enough to go to Sandhurst and commission as an army officer. I ended up joining a fantastic regiment called the Queen's Royal Hussars, who primarily are British main battle tanks, so Challenger 2 main battle tank, great bit of kit. And then I served with them for just over 9 years. So I did a number of operational tours, nothing overly exciting, to Iraq and Kosovo, and then the usual sort of training deployments to places like Canada and Poland, and lived in Germany for quite a bit of it, and sort of saw my way through to my last regular army job, which was working at the British Army Officer Selection Board as a selector there, which was really interesting. So selecting future army officers coming in. So quite a varied career in a way. In a nutshell, I won't bore you with any more, unless you'd like to know more. But it's a whistle-stop tour.
Right, and if I could ask you that, what was the biggest lesson you learned from that journey, that period in your life? What that would be?
I think probably within people that everyone has something to offer, that play to people's strengths rather than weaknesses. We're very, especially if you're in a leadership or management role, where we it's very easy to try and make people fit a certain mold, and we all have strengths and weaknesses. So within a team environment, trying to allocate those tasks to those who naturally are good at what they're good at, try and encourage them to develop in other areas, but they may never be ever good at it, and then allocate and work the best of people. And I think probably as a spin-off of that, in terms of personalities as well, even if they're they've done some bad things or naughty things in their life, it doesn't mean that they are a completely bad person. Not to write people off, to see, give people a chance to grow, and we've all got something to offer. I think humility, I think, is probably the right way of summing it up. We've got we don't have to be defined by our pasts. Cool.
Right. Next question for you is, what do you think is a good age to start dating, and why?
A good age to start dating. Well, I'm no expert in this. I don't know. Probably in some respects sooner than later, make the mistakes early. And I don't know. Well, it depends which way you look at it. I think probably most of us, dare I say, get better at it as we get older, because we become a bit more attuned to who we are and what we want. So if I was perhaps to tell myself now, I would probably, in a boring answer, would say wait and find out, learn more about what you need and but arguably you need to have that journey of learning, meeting people, wonderful or not, and discover what works for you and what doesn't. It's a tricky one. I don't know. I think you just got to have a go, haven't you?
And I believe as well. I believe that there is, like, of course, not gonna start dating very young, but when you feel like you are not ready, but when you feel in a safe place that you can, I can, date someone. When you feel safe, I think there's no rule, like 13, 14, or 15, or 18. If you feel safe, if you think like your parents or whatever, like, he or she is ready now or safe, why not? I think there's no there's no rule.
I think people who get married early or have a serious relationship from early on, because I think they say it's 24 that your personality starts to really form. So if you do it too young, then you need to be prepared that it's going to evolve, and you need to be strong enough or have the ability to communicate well enough to grow together and evolve together. Otherwise, I think people anecdotally who get together when they're younger, they either split later, or they have that ability to one becomes more successful than the other, or your interests change. You're very different people. I'm a very different person now at 46 than I was when I was 20. So
great. Another question for you, Christian. Let's do it. Right. Next question is, what is your funniest memory of your time at school?
I used to have a there was a geography teacher we used to have it when I was at prep school. Mr. Dutton Cox. He taught me archery, which I really loved, and it was something that's because I have dyslexia. I think he took a. I think he had dyslexia, and one of his sons had dyslexia, so he had some sympathy perhaps on me. So he was quite keen to try and nurture me in other areas, and he took me very much under his wing and took me and taught me how to do archery. We went on competitions together, and there was a team of us. So that's probably one of my fondest memories, which I haven't thought about for, God, 30 odd years or something. So thank you for taking that out of my memory.
I'm happy I'm so glad that this question came up to you. Very good. Great, another question. Let's go, Christian. Right, just before the next question, tell me how did yoga came into your life?
Probably quite clichédly, a wonderful girlfriend I had at the time. She took me to my first yoga class. God, it must have been about 5-6 years ago. And I remember it to this day, and I still know the teacher who taught us. There's a lovely teacher called Morella, who's in Bath. If you're ever in Bath, check her out, she's amazing. And she made me cry. Not the teacher, not the class, neither intentionally, but I'd had so much repressed emotion, I realise now, that I kept getting these waves of emotion. And Kitty, the girlfriend I had at the time, she took me to this, and it was just a really amazing class. Just physically, I struggled physically because, being a classic guy, very tight physically, and then emotionally, and then afterwards I was just kept getting this wave of emotion, and of course, again, being a good guy, I sort of put the lid back on the box and fought the tears back, and even though I did start to leak at times, and it had a really profound effect on me, really profound. So yeah, I'm deeply grateful to the girlfriend at the time, Kitty, for doing that. She very much, on lots of levels, changed my life.
Very good. I had someone on the show as well. We did an interview, I think, last year, before Christmas, and he's English. He lives as well. He lives in Brighton. And he teaches yoga as well. His interview's out already. You can have a look at he's really cool. He talks a lot about yoga. He talks about nature as well. He goes to the sea sometimes when it's very cold. Just they have this cold shower. Anyway, you can check. But he said something interesting. He said that yoga came into his life. He was literally walking one day in the street, and he saw this gym was like a deal for like 30 days of yoga for 30 pounds, like was £1 per day. And he said, oh, you know what? I'm gonna try. And it changed his life. It changed his life completely. It just made me remember now when he mentioned that.
I think sorry.
No, please carry on.
I was going to say, I think you have to be in the right state of your life. Like a lot of epiphanies. Well, the epiphanies that come to me are blatantly obvious, but you have to be in the right place for them to resonate. And yoga, I think, is the same. And I think I can see why. I mean, one of my big dreams is to get more guys into yoga, and in fact, I'm doing next week my Broga course to try and it's a brand of yoga which is designed to get to be more, not manly, but to try and attract more guys. I think to how they do it, but I think I think we need to be getting into our midlife crisis stages of manhood to be in where we realise actually we're missing a lot, and we keep having perhaps dysfunctional relationships, and we're not overly happy. We find it difficult to express ourselves, and certainly yoga has been massively helpful for me in terms of starting to connect with who I really am, and still a long way to go. but it's I'd highly recommend it. If you guys get on the yoga mat, honestly, you won't regret it. Yes, let's do it.
Okay, next question is, Christian, how would you describe a perfect friendship?
My answer is going to be heavily influenced by the military, and I've realised that I have certain brothers, as I'd call them, who I have served with, not necessarily, the military is all about teamwork, and they build a team by putting you through adversity, in essence. And the same with a relationship. If you're dating, usually when you've gone through some hard times together and you've worked through it together, you build a bond. And so I've learned in relationships, but certainly in friendships. So I think it's that loyalty, knowing you've got each other's backs. You trust the other person, you respect the other person. You and taking it sort of out of the military sphere, but you respect them. They're capable people, and you have similar moral outlook on life. They're dependable, and the people I think trust is probably the word. That the people have always going to be there for you. And I've probably, maybe I've always done this, but certainly off the back of that, I probably have surrounded myself by a select few brothers. I have lots of acquaintances and people I really enjoy being around, but people I would really turn to is quite a different kettle of fish.
Very good. You say about you call your friends a brother, and I call my best friends angels. I think through my life, I left Brazil when I was 19 years old. I lived in Portugal, I didn't know anyone, and I'm here in England now. And so many people cross your life, and some people, they stay in your life. And when sometimes you even don't talk to them very often, but they are there, they are there. So I always when I call them, okay, hello angel, how are you? I call them angels because literally I see them as angel because they come to your life. And I think friendship, they don't choose friends. It happens naturally, the connection comes naturally. That's what I believe.
I think it's almost like chemistry in a way, isn't it? You just resonate, you're drawn to certain people, and whether it be personality,
absolutely,
outlook, whatever it might be.
We are magnets. We bring people around the same way as we are. Do you know what I mean? Somehow. Totally. Another question, Christian. Let's do it. I'm just wondering now, imagine if you had a yoga class after, they go like, your students go like, oh my God, why are you so agitated now today? I think it's because of the show. No, I just did a broadcast with someone who was dancing too much, and now I've got all the energy now.
I like it. No, it's good for me. It's good to take me out of my comfort zone. I'm a dreadful dancer, but I'd love to be able to be good. You've clearly got the moves.
Brazilian people, when you were born in Brazil, you have two paths: or you become a football player, or you become a dancer. I didn't go either way, but at least I can move a little bit. Right, next question is, if you could spend an entire day with a family member, who that would be and why?
Do they have to be, are they alive or are they dead? Or
could be any either way.
If I could do someone who's necessarily no longer with us, well, that puts me on fair. For those that, if they are angels and are looking above me, they're going to be like all vibing, aren't they? But I'm going to say my grandfather. I had a very close relationship with my grandfather, and he was wonderful to me, and I would love to meet him again. You have a very different relationship when you're young, don't you, to now as an adult. Yes. Yes, is that enough of an answer? Or do you want me to give you a living person without being so macabre?
No, it's true. Whatever comes to your mind, I think what counts is the first thing that came to your mind, the first person who to your head. That's fine, absolutely. Cool. Are you enjoying the show so far, Christian?
I am very much, yes.
Great. Let's get on the question.
Thank you.
The moves are coming out. It's not.
I'm running out. I haven't got much more repertoire. That's it.
Right. Next. Next question is, what makes you the saddest?
I'm going to say perhaps reflection or regret, something that we should perhaps never have too much of either of. But a lot of the work that I'm doing emotionally on myself, I look back into certain aspects of my life and realise how much I haven't sort of lived emotionally in this situation. I've been very contained, very switched off, and when you like doing gratitude exercises, and I've realised that when I look back at things I'm very grateful at the time, if I put myself back into that circumstance, when they talk about trying to build the feeling of gratitude, that I struggle to feel the feeling then, because I didn't realise how lucky I was for whatever the situation may have been. I was too closed off emotionally. So that brings a lot of, not negative sorrow, but it brings a lot of sadness to me in that I wasn't sort of alive enough, if you want to, at the time to really appreciate the present moment. It's never too late, so but I'm trying to be more present now.
But I believe, Christian, that as you mentioned in the past, that you're not like say maybe you are not ready to be, to get the emotions or to express your emotions. I believe that everything always come the right time, And actually, maybe if you would have this moment that you wish you had at the time, maybe we would have changed right now. You know what I mean? So could go the both ways as well. So I believe sometimes, sometimes when you go back, I go like, oh my God, I know I enjoyed at the moment or whatever, but maybe if you did, you wouldn't make the person as you are right now. I know it's cliche, sounds cliche, but, and maybe... Yeah.
No, I agree with you totally. Sorry, I didn't interrupt you. We're all on that journey, and certainly what I was doing at the time, a lot of these moments of gratitude, I was in an environment which required me to be more contained, if you want. Emotion wasn't necessary.
But everything counts. End of the day, everything counts. Everything build ourselves, the way it should be. That's good. That's what makes life interesting.
Yeah, you need both ends of the spectrum, don't you? For sure.
Yes. Another question for you.
Brilliant. You just want to see me dancing.
Okay. For the next question, do you think during this last year, let's say, since the first lockdown started, do you think meditation and yoga became more popular, in your opinion?
Yes, and I hope yes as well. I think it's always been sort of fairly popular in certain spheres. I think people are starting to perhaps see the benefits of having a regular practice, and certainly my own classes, which are becoming more popular, are my morning. So you like a morning routine class. So you do it every morning at 8, and they do that 6 days a week, and they can do the 7th if they want to on demand. And I think people are, because of lockdown, have had the opportunity to experience a routine, and then the genuine benefits, not just physically but emotionally and mentally, and becoming more reliant on it. Whereas I think a lot of people within yoga, and there's nothing wrong with this, were more inclined to dip in and out of it as a bit of a lifestyle kind of add-on. They knew the benefits, but because it was a bit ad hoc and great, there's nothing wrong with that. Something better than nothing. But the ones who've been able to do it consistently, I think will reap the long-term rewards from it in the end.
Oh,
yeah,
great.
So I think so, yes. Yeah.
But I think nowadays, it's much more popular, and I believe as well, yoga and meditation. I personally believe that it's grown so fast, and so people are talking more about it. And I think as well, the social media is being spreading a lot as well. Like you, like the job you do, I think people are more connecting with each other, and I think it's growing somehow. Yeah. I believe.
I think what certainly I'm doing with my own offering, and a lot of people are doing now, people want little bite-sized chunks. So they want short meditations, they want short practices, rather than, of course, perhaps we'd all love to be able to do an hour and a half practice. But if we can squeeze something into 20 minutes, then that's more. We're all so busy, and then we're all trying to squeeze so many little, plug lots of different bits in that sometimes time is the deciding factor. So I think, yes, making it accessible, and the whole online piece makes everything much more accessible from different forms. My meditations that I really, one of the big benefits of lockdown for me has been developing my style of teaching meditation, which I now really love. It's probably one of my favorite aspects of doing before lockdown, and things like Insight Timer, these amazing apps that are out there, which there's millions of people literally accessing their meditations and yoga, and it's fantastic.
Very good. Next question for you is, what's the happiest day in your life so far, and why you consider that?
I'm not going to give you what I class as a bit of a trite answer and talk about my children, because that's usually the go to. That's a given. I've got 2 amazing boys. I'm going to probably say one of my, because if I do this on a gratitude, I would probably say when I finally completed a lifelong ambition of becoming an army officer. It was and it sort of stood my life on its head in some respects, because in a way I've achieved one of my biggest goals that I wanted to do. And then when I came out of the army, one of the big things I had was this loss of direction, and it was life eventually took me to what I do now, which I've now reignited and found, a passion for something, quite, I can see the ridiculous polarity of what I'm talking about. But so yes, probably from a historical perspective, that was probably one of my greatest ones. My father was there, and my mother and the girlfriend at the time, so it was amazing.
Very good. Another question for you.
Oh, brilliant.
Right, Christian, next question for you is, where do you see yourself living when you retire?
Oh, wow. I hope to have two places if I'm going to be really greedy and money's not an option, because I'm going to manifest my success. I'm going to say one in the mountains. I love to ski. It's one of my really sets my heart alight. So I would love to have a place with big glass vistas, roaring fire, which has lovely open air where I can teach yoga from, and also then go and do like ski tours, cross-country ski tours, and then also somewhere in the summer which is by the sea. I love being by the ocean as well. So yes, I need to I need to get bloody good at yoga so I can afford my dream homes.
Very good. I'm sure it would happen. I'm sure I can see you already there. I could picture your talk. I could picture yourself like organized.
Oh, it's all there. I've got it there. I just need it need to manifest in real.
For sure. Another question. Okay, next question for you is, good one. Which question you wouldn't have an answer for?
Yeah, I'm going to probably say happiness. The key to whatever happiness is, because it's so unique. I don't, if someone came to me and said, how can I be happy? I could give you, a good handrail of where to perhaps go. But I think it's such a, that wonderful with splitting hairs of semantics between joy and happiness, and how you achieve that. And it's so unique to everyone in our own ways. There's commonality, but that I think I couldn't give the answer to that.
Very good. I think I totally agree with you. I think happiness is a personal feeling. I think, maybe for you being happy, it could be this. Maybe for me, it could be something else. Next two, good point, good answer. Another one.
You're torturing me with the dancing now.
Right, let's go for it. But before the next question, I'd like to ask you, what do you like the most about being a personal trainer?
I really enjoy exercising people. I like to challenge people, not in a sort of screamy, shouty ex-army kind of way, but I like to see people challenge themselves and be surprised by what their bodies can do. I think also one of my first PT clients I ever had, she completely unwittingly, she told me quite forthrightly, she goes, do you know what, the one thing I've learned from you most is resilience. So probably the military teaches that in shovel loads without, just by nature of how they train it, and but they never tell you, we're going to give you some resilience training now, but it's that mental ability just to keep going, to be focused, to be motivated, to almost switch off. And I think that's really rewarding when you can teach people or encourage people to find their equivalent of that mental strength, and physical strength as well. The body can do so much, and yet so often we use it so little. Myself included. I'm lucky enough to do 3, 4, 5 classes a day, but the body can keep going and going and going if you look after it, and I think it's wonderful. And the mind very much linked into that.
Very good. Next question for you is, would you rather be invisible or be able to fly? And what would you do if you had this power?
I think fly. Oh my God, yeah. I think being invisible would be a bit creepy, wouldn't it? I think what would I do with it? Oh my God, I would. Well, I think after I got the initial excitement of being able to fly and really explore it, I think you'll want me to say I feel compelled to say I'd do something good with it. I'd try and become sort of super Superman. I don't know, what can I do with it? I don't know. I think I'd probably be hiding because people would be like trying to hunt me down, trying to find out what I could fly.
You know what came to my mind now? I think you should like be there and get everyone out their house. Okay, let's do yoga, everyone together now. Imagine how busy.
Oh,
like,
yes.
You see?
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
How funny.
But it's funny because, I mean, visible, actually, I think everyone can be visible if they want to, in a way, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As you said, being creepy, it's true, actually. People, they can be visible anyway.
Yeah.
But flying, something that's, yeah, maybe one day, you never know. You know, they want to go so fast, but they're gonna...
I've got to get really good to levitate, haven't I?
Another question, Christian. I had a personal trainer on the show the other day, and he was like, when I was playing the music, I was like, okay, I'm gonna pretend I'm running because I cannot dance. I'm just gonna be like,
I'm getting close to it. I'm gonna start driving my bus soon.
You see it? There's always a way to move yourself. There's no excuse. Right. Next question is: if you could sit down with yourself when you were 13 years old, what did you say to yourself at the time?
Oh my God! Well. I'd say right now, don't use this question that I was going to ask you. That was my question that I was going to ask you at the end.
Oh, I spoiled the question.
Very similar.
You still can ask, but now I'm going to keep thinking.
Damn it! What would I say to myself? Oh God. I think, and it's slightly linked to what I would, you asked me to talk about later, about having the courage of your convictions, about trying to, and this is really hard because even as a 46-year-old I'm still trying to do it, but learn to love yourself, you know, become at peace with yourself, and I have so much admiration for people who genuinely know who they are and are proud and you know, wear their heart on their sleeve and have the ability to, you know, travel through life in a good way by not being affected by all the naysayers and all the negativity and, you know, trying to conform to social stereotypes and all the rest of it, and you know, have that true inner guide. And if you can find that, I think it provides such joy in life, if nothing else. I think it gives you such a sense of freedom. You know, you'll make much better decisions in life.
Very good. And if you'd like,
whether the 13-year-old, sorry.
Right. And actually, if you'd like, I can answer your question right now, but after you can ask me another one. My answer, I think for me, if I could sit down with myself when I was 13 years old, I would tell myself, you know what? You're gonna go through a lot of happy moments in your life. Like you're gonna, you know, go very much. At the same time as well, you're gonna go through a tough time as well. You know what? Enjoy both times, because both of them are going to be necessary for you to get whatever you're going to go in life. So appreciate both of the time. I think that would be my answer if I would be 13. My advice to myself, because as you said, when you have this age, you don't have knowledge. You know, you are influenced from people around you, for colleagues, or for the environment itself, for parents, everything. It kind of comes to you, and you're not prepared to, you know, to face it or to, you know, what's true, what's wrong. And yes, I would tell myself this would be my advice. But you need to ask another question at the end, okay? I answered your question.
You're putting me under pressure now, okay? Okay.
Right, yeah. I have 3 questions left for you, okay? Please, let's do it. Yeah, good one. Next question for you is, who are you most thankful for and why?
I'm going to say, again, probably this ex-girlfriend of mine, Kitty, Catherine Walker. She set me on the path that I'm on now, unwittingly or wittingly. You know, it wasn't a conscious thing, but she opened my eyes to, you know, not just yoga, but you know, the work that I needed to do on myself, and she was very much the catalyst, and I'll be, you know, forever deeply grateful for her and wherever she is in the world at the moment. You know, I wish her all the happiness in the world for that, and I'm deeply grateful.
And I'm sure she'll be so happy to watch this interview, and you mentioned that for sure.
Well, maybe one day she will. You never know.
For sure, absolutely.
It does.
2 questions left. Let's do it. Okay, next question for you is, if you met someone sad in the street, what would be your advice to this person?
Oh God, I think mental health is such a difficult minefield, and I don't mean that negatively. I think it's just so complicated that I try and offer some support or understanding and an ear to listen to. But I always remember my first experience of mental health. My father, he had multiple sclerosis, and he's ex-army, so very stoic, if you want, very sort of traditional, and he ended up going through a state of depression, totally understandably, off the back of his MS and how it was progressing and his life was deteriorating really. And I remember him at the height of his depression sitting me down, floods of tears, and me being a young man at the time, not knowing how to react, how to respond to it really, and him basically saying, I can't control how I feel. I wish I could snap out of this. I wish if I could, I would, but I can't. And it's really stuck in my mind. And if nothing else, to try and conjure that empathy for people who are in that situation. And, because he knew I was in the army at the time, and he knew we were, you're very much schooled to, snap out of it, get on with it, drive on. You can do this. And he just couldn't, and it's really stuck in my mind. So I don't know what I would say, to be honest with you. I would offer empathy as best I could, and try and help if I could.
Very good, very good. Ready for the last
one? You're going to make me dance again, aren't you?
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, just before the last question, Christian, you're saying about being a personal trainer, and I believe I always tell, I like going to the gym, so I like to, I think, as you said, for me, just brings me such a good energy. But I always tell my friends as well that I believe that personal trainers, they also are psychologists, because people, they share a lot about their lives during the, during the workout. They, of course, they feel so, same time when they, they trust the personal trainer at the same time as well, and they get connected. But I believe as well, people, they share a lot of negativity as well. I'm sure they come with, this heavy, which is normal. I think we all of us, we have those days when we are sad, or, how do you find, like the mechanism of like not to absorb this negativity and take it into your life, if you know what I mean? Do you have something that you do it, that you don't connect, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I have to say that I'm quite lucky with, the clientele that I do have are lovely and don't weigh too heavily on me. But I probably find, more so with the yoga, there's a more giving of energy, unwittingly or wittingly. And I think it's self-love. It's giving time back to myself. And I think most people who work in this industry that I do, certainly the yoga side, you keep driving yourself, and eventually you hit a wall, and you either get really ill, you get a really bad cold, or you get something worse, or it's catching yourself, and it's giving yourself regular time out to practice my own yoga, to meditate. I meditate every day, not for very long, 20 minutes, and that for me is just an amazing reset, and I find that energizes and resets me emotionally and mentally. Doing breath work, I love doing as well. Restorative yoga, I occasionally treat myself doing the most uninteresting sequence of postures, but to me it's if I get in the right mood and I'm really exhausted physically, emotionally, mentally, it's just that having a massage. I don't know if you ever when you've ever been for a massage, you sometimes almost lean into the person, and I found myself even I know when I'm really bad, if I do my own hair, but if I ever go for a haircut, and I find myself leaning into the person, kind of, because I'm like, just give me something back. But I know I need to look after myself more.
But ready for the last one?
Okay.
Let's do it. The last one is, I think this one is gonna be easy for you. What have you learned during this coronavirus lockdown?
The slowing down, the benefits of slowing down. On a personal level, I've really enjoyed reusing this as a bit of a reset to connect to myself, and sort of it's cut away a lot of noise and distraction for a lot of us, and I can understand why people find that very hard if they're not ready to do the work on themselves. But by doing the meditation and teaching and do my own yoga practice has really helped me process a lot of things and spend a bit of time, you know, reconnecting with myself. Whether that is fortunate that I was at that point in my journey anyway, and it's given, you know, it's helped me accelerate that. And I can see why if I wasn't at that point, you know, it would be potentially very hard for someone. It's also been hugely beneficial for me in terms of developing my teaching style for yoga, which I'm really pleased with, and I've still a long way to go. But you know, I can feel myself. I can visually, I tangibly can see how I've evolved. Hopefully for the better. It seems to be for the better. Yeah, I hate to say this. I quite enjoyed lockdown. That makes me really miserable, doesn't it? But it's been really healthy for me.
No, actually, saying that, I'll tell you something now. Of course, besides the negativity, the sadness around the world during this lockdown, the first one, all this period that no one was expecting, I to be honest, I'm very happy, grateful as well, because that's when I started out my show through this time, you know what I mean? So I believe there's always, you know, big, beautiful things happening as well at the same time, you know? I totally believe.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not the end yet. Let's play now the quick thinking game. I'm going to give away some words and you just tell me one word related to this one, okay? Quick thinking.
Yeah.
Let's start with religion.
Dangerous.
Love.
Beautiful.
Money.
Complex.
Family.
Everything.
Life.
Beautiful.
Sex.
Amazing.
Okay. Politics.
Undesirable.
Friendship.
Must have.
Fear.
Part of life.
Desire.
Exciting.
Okay. Regrets.
Avoid.
Success.
Relative.
Wish.
A wish.
Yeah, wish.
A dream.
Okay. Happiness.
A goal.
Okay. How about if I tell you bath, the seat bath? What comes to your mind? Just one word.
It's sandstone, because it's made of sandstone. I know it's two words, but forgive me.
And the last one now, yoga.
Life-changing.
Very good. Good one. Okay, good. That's okay. Let's pretend now I'm going to meet your best friends for a cup of tea, and I'm going to ask your best friends. Tell me the most beautiful thing about Christian, and tell me something that he still needs to improve on. What do you think your best friend will tell me?
I think probably best thing, positive, upbeat. And what I need to improve on, probably, okay, a really personal answer. I need to improve my abandonment issues.
Oops. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Let's play now. Christian and the magic box, and you can ask me a question, okay? And I promise I'm gonna make you dance just for one more time.
Give me a time to think.
See? Now you can ask me a question now.
Well, you know that my original question was going to be, and I tell you what, I still ask it, because I was going to ask for 3 things that you would tell, but I was going to say not your 13-year-old self, your 18-year-old self.
Wow, very good. You turn around very beautifully. I like that. I like the tactic. Okay, so let's say it's a very good age, because I left Brazil when I was 19 years old. Mm-hmm. So if I could sit down with myself when I was 18, just 1 year before I moved to Europe, to start my God, beautiful journey, I'll tell myself, and I'm gonna go back to the angels as well. I would say, you know what? I've got goosebumps now just talking about, my God, it's beautiful, amazing. I'll tell myself at the time, you know what? You're gonna go far away. You're gonna start a journey in your life where you're gonna start alone. You're gonna go alone on your own, but over there, angels and people like gonna come to your life. They're gonna be around you, and when you feel, you're gonna have moments that we're gonna feel very insecure. You're gonna feel lost. You're gonna feel like you are lonely, but believe me, they're gonna come. They're gonna come in the right time. Those angels gonna come in the right time. They're gonna come in good periods of your life. That's gonna be essential, and they're gonna be there forever. And actually, you're never gonna feel alone. You're never gonna feel alone, even though you're gonna be alone away from your family. I get emotional if I start talking too much because I get emotional. but yeah, you're gonna have people around you that they're gonna be your family. They're gonna be around you. They're gonna fulfill everything that you need or you miss from your family. So yeah, I would tell myself that at the time, like, yeah. Amazing. My God, you turn around and you make me go through my emotions.
Yes, it's your punishment for making me dance.
You see? Very good. Did you have a good time?
I've had a lovely time, thank you. Yes, it's been really good.
Thanks so much for being nice and sweet and accept my invitation. Thank you very much. I appreciate
No,
that.
thank you for the invite. I really appreciate it, sir. You're very lovely.
Great. And just before you go, I would like you to share a positive quote or a positive message, something that inspires you.
Yeah, I was mulling over this because I was having difficulty trying to condense it into what I wanted to say. Probably, I'm going to go for a bit of a Stoics quote of "Know thyself." And what I mean by that is there's a number of spin-offs to it for me anyway, and in the journey that I'm on, but I think it's relevant to most of us, is have the courage of your convictions, know who you are, you know, and if we are honest with ourselves, so often most of us don't, we never sit with ourselves, and you know, we're so influenced by external influences and pressures to think and act in certain ways, but we never really drill down into who we really are, what we want, and what our dreams and passions, and you know, even stupid things like, what do you really, you know, you always hear people when they come out of relationships and you know, if they've been in for a long time, they go, you know, what do you like, what do you want to do, and they go, I don't know, because you become so interlinked with someone else, which can be a beautiful thing, but it's also keeping that sense of identity if you are in a relationship, but equally outside of it. You know, there's a saying which is not very motivational, but it is to me, but on the face of it, it's not. It's a paraphrasing Einstein of trying to do the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome. Now, that to me is about my patterns in my life. I look now, when I spend time with myself, I see certain patterns, loops, negative loops that I go through in personality trait, in thought, in action, to situations. And it's becoming aware of them so you can catch yourself. And invariably you will repeat them at some stage, but it's then either stopping yourself midway through the loop or before it happens, or even if you do have a relapse and you do it again, just going, you know, we're human, and then trying harder not to do that. So know thyself. I think, you know, I could go on for hours talking about this, but in essence, is probably the quote that means a lot to me.
Very good. Thank you very much for sharing that. Thanks so much.
It's been genuinely a pleasure to meet you, sir. You're a lovely human.
Thanks so much. Thanks, sure. Likewise as well. As I said, you made me almost cry. You made me like goodbye. You get all the emotions. I think it was your background.
That's my background, yes.
All the best, okay, Chris? Thanks so much. Thanks for the interview.
Thank you so much for your time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye-bye. See you next time.